friend is actually the most valuable and important person for someone wearing a mask, because they're probably the only person close enough to figure it out and help in that situation. So just with that question, what do you guys think is, as friends, because I always in these videos want to empower friends, because not everyone's suicidal, but the majority of people know somebody that is, or has encountered someone that is, but they don't know what to do. I have so many teenagers ask me, well, what do I do? What do I say? How can I help? So in this situation, say someone, we know they're putting on a facade, we know they're putting on a fake smile, they're not okay. Imagine we're the friend. What can we do to help that person in that moment?
Yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, as a friend, you know, like if someone has let you in and allowed you to see those places and the real them, then you're in the best position to actually show them and reveal to them their value and champion their value and encourage their value. And I think it's that as like our self-worth goes up, as our sense that we are valued and we have something to bring to the world goes up, that's when the mask, I mean, we've already talked about this, that's when the mask begins to go off, and we willingly take the mask off. And so as a friend, even just thinking about my own friends, part of what I want to do in life is really be that person that encourages the real them, fans into flame the real them, says, hey, like, all these, you have so much to offer, you have genuinely you have so much to offer, be that, you know, like, and because we have that window, we get to journey with people where we see them in social settings, we see them in front of cameras, we see them on social media, and we can see the difference between the masked person and the real person, you know. And I think that's where even some tough love can come into it, not condemning love is an oxymoron, not condemnation where it's just like, come on dude, like, be yourself, but actually, hey, like, almost like exposing the lies, almost exposing the false self of, hey, like, I noticed in this setting when you're talking to that person, when you're on social media doing this, I noticed that you had this bend, like I heard it in your tone, I saw it in your like demeanor. And you don't have to be that. Like, it's this disarming thing. You don't actually have to do that. Take the pressure off, because the real you is even greater, you know, like, and so that's what I think. As friends, we have this unique window and opportunity to encourage and champion and say, hey, like, the real you is the best version of yourself.
We have to be intentional. You know, we have to be intentional about it. I say, you know, with your friends, you know, the people that are closest to you, and even if you're in a position or a situation where you're around just people and you notice, be intentional so I guess this is kind of twofold. So with like your circle, with your friends, once a week, you know, if it's more than that, that's fine, but at least once a week, have a time where you say, hey, how are you doing? No. How are you really doing? And give them that opportunity to be able to unload what's really, really going on. There's a saying out there that says, check on your strong friend, you know, because it's so easy to see someone that's hurting, you know, or someone that's going through. That's the easy targets. But I think it was last year, it's probably last year, that really gripped me, that it was like people that appeared to have it all together, and some of our leaders, there were, I know in particular, there were two like big pastors that committed suicide. And then my little heart was broke because Kate Spade actually turned around and like actually committed suicide. And just like, what? It's like literally days before she was launching a new line and everything. And I was like, and I literally remember saying, who was checking on these pastors? While they were shepherding your souls, who was asking them hard questions? Who was checking on Kate Spade? Who was checking on these people? And so I think we have to be intentional about checking in, you know, and then outside of, you know, that circle, be intentional about looking around you, whether it's your church or your job or your school. You know, you see the underdog, you know, you see the person that's cast away. And I know, like, in high school, I was one of those crazy people in high school. Like, the people that were getting bullied, I was like drawn to them, because I struggled with especially when I moved to Denver from Chicago, kind of like I was like the outcast, but I kind of always been a little okay in my skin. That's not been my issue. So what I did is I used that gift to say, you know what, hey, you're being bullied. And I would like look for those kids like in the lunchroom and just like, hey, why are you letting them do that? Do you know that you're this? And they're just looking at me like, are you kidding me? And literally those kids that were being bullied, their self-esteem began to grow because someone else that might have had a little bit more self-esteem than them was able to just encourage them. So I feel like, just like Josh said, we have a responsibility for our friends. And I feel like even to the mankind, that if we happen to have a happy day, reach out. You know what I'm saying? Even if we're having a gloomy day, it's like, hey, I feel crappy. What about you? You know, and so to be able to be intentional about whether they're strong friends, whether they're going through, of just saying, hey, how are you doing? No, how are you really doing? And I guarantee you, they may not answer you on Monday, may not answer you on Tuesday, or even that week. But if you are consistent with it, then what will happen is they will see your consistency. Then in return, they'll say, you know what? I feel like I kind of can trust this person to be vulnerable and that they're going to actually care. And then from there, they'll open up and the sky's the limit.
I think that because we put an emphasis on friends, but I think you can become a friend very quickly to someone you're not a friend to. Because you say, you know, a close friend's going to notice it, but you as someone that has been interacting with people, you just may pick up on something that their friends aren't even picking up on. You might just notice something and you can in that moment decide to be a friend. And this is the thing I've learned, is I always brace myself for people to look at me like I'm crazy when I go up to a new person and be kind, because we're not used to it. And so when you go up to someone and you're kind, at first they're like, what do you want? What do you want from me? What's your motive? What's your intentions here? And so they always look at me. They're like, what is that? I mean, they give me like you're the crazy lady face. You know, so I learned to ignore that, because if you take it as rejection, you're never going to step out and help. If you fear a rejection before you even walk up to someone, well, what if they look at me like I'm crazy? Well, then you're never going to help. But if you just get the security that, okay, they're going to look at me like I'm crazy because they're not used to it. It's not a rejection of me. It's a rejection to kindness, because I don't trust that the kindness is really real, and that it's really, there's a real, and just a realness behind it. So it's like you guys that are watching this video have the ability to someone you don't even know to become their friend very quick. And like she said, keep reaching out, keep checking in on them, keep checking and you know, making sure you're okay, because they may not. I know for people that have really been in real depression, they don't even have the words to say. They don't even know what to say. So a friend picking them up and helping, and two, this is real important to any friend out there. It is not your responsibility to fix them. That's a weight you can't carry. What you can do as a friend is get them to someone that is a professional that can help and hold their hand and be by their side, because they may not trust the professional and be like, well, I don't know you and all that. But if they've got a friend next to them supporting them and saying, you can do it, you can do it, you can do this, it's not your responsibility to keep them from doing something to harm themselves, but you can, as a friend, can get them to someone that takes on that responsibility and that role for their life. Is that, you know? So be careful to not try to play savior, you know, because then you could get into shame and guilt if certain things happen. But just having that role of trying to care and helping the voiceless go to a place where they can have a voice and speak up and deal with some of their stuff is huge, a huge thing that you can do.